and we're away at Kerborough for the Velospeed and Lichfield City Cycling Club No Frills Friday, right? Which is a super simple, super basic, closed circuit race for Category 2 and Category 3s. It's nice, late enough in the evening that you can get to it, even despite the fact that I live an hour away. Now, this is a tight little circuit. It's actually designed and used mostly by cars, and it's a motorsport circuit where they do a short sprint and try and set the fastest lap time. Those guys will set sort of under a minute lap times, but on the bike we do it the opposite way around, and we use a little hairpin at the end that they don't use to create a closed circuit. A little bit more space for us. You can see it's really tight and really windy, even on a bike, let alone if you're in sort of an MX-5 or a Tearooms or anything like that. Now we're going to do a full preview of the lap from the gun. You'll see that it starts with a nice big long and wide hairpin at the top. You come into that at sort of 30-31 miles an hour when you are at full tilt. You then come into what the Strava KOM calls the golden arches, which, if you have a look at the map in the top left hand corner, is the little M shape. Looks a little bit like a crushed McDonald's logo, hence somebody's clever title for the Strava segment. Then you take this tighter than it looks on this GoPro, if I'm honest, hairpin down at the bottom with this funny terrain change on the right where you go from tarmac to concrete, which can be a little bit odd for grip, especially if it gets wet, which I'm going to let you know that in this race it definitely does, and this race does not end particularly well for me. If you're a little bit superstitious, you don't like to see the sort of things that can happen in a bike race, then I'll give you a pre-warn before how my race ends. Now, this race is 40 minutes plus 5 laps. It's going to work out about 45 laps. You join us about a lap or two after that sighting lap at the front, and I'm looking here for an opportunity to pull a breakaway away. And that guy there that I know quite well from track, I see that he's looking around, flicking elbows, and that's going to be my opportunity. I've never attacked into the golden arches before. Normally at Kerborough, people will attack on the home straight, on the back straight, into that long and wide hairpin at the top. But I saw my opportunity and I thought, okay, this looks really narrow. If I can get through there, maybe two more people can get onto my wheel, and then we can get away. And you can see here that I've got people with me, so I'm going to put a little bit of a dig in, but I'm not going to put loads in. I'm expecting to have to sort of chase 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 attempts, and then maybe leave one and then go after it. So I'm going to keep myself warm, keep myself in the race, but this break, it's worked, but there was a bit of dilly-dallying. I'd flip my elbow and people weren't working. What Kerborough needs is it needs a really consistent. There you go. I'm giving him a little bit of a shout to say, look, you've got to do something. If you want to go, you've got to do something, right? But what this circuit needs is it needs a consistent chain gang, 4, 5 guys, just to get off the front and then to sit at sort of threshold and work consistently together until the last 2 laps, and then you can start to play funny buggers with each other and sprint from a smaller group. But it didn't work there. We'll maybe see what happens a little bit later on. That gets a little bit tight with the grass coming in here, and we're maybe 5-6 laps after from where we've seen before, but my new mate from VB is going to go again, and one hell of a punch away actually, I'll give him that. And I'm like, yeah, that looks like a good wheel. I reckon if I can get him to work with me, then let's go. So cut across the bunch to try and keep them behind and not have them chase me, and I'm going to put some big watts in here to try and get on his wheel. I'd also spotted as I was coming up, and I can't say I'd seen him as we were going up the hill, but the guy in front of the Vela Bavarian rider is from Beeston, and Beeston have a race team. It's Hoob BCC, I think is what it's called, a BRT, but they're doing really well. First proper year as I think it's a development level team is the title that we use. It's one of a couple of new development level teams in the UK. But Beeston Cycling Club is a feeder for that, and a lot of the young riders from Beeston Cycling Club are really strong. So when I saw him there, I thought, right, okay, this is it. You'll see I'm pretty committed here to this. I'm sort of doing around threshold, sort of pushing into VO2, but they're not really working, and that categorises a lot of what the brakes were. Look, so it's took some real go for me to get him to come round, and then when he has come round, he's done it really late. And what you'll see there is he's starting to gap me, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm taking this corner pretty fast, but fast enough. And it turns out it's because he wants to attack. And I'm not really sure why he decided to do that, to be honest. Now, we needed to work together here to get away. We've got 3 strong people, but decided to attack. You'll see, I'm not faffing around at 500-600 watts ish, but he's decided to do that. I've looked back over my shoulder, and the group are coming, and the peloton is on its way. So I've knocked a gear down, and we'll just leave him out. And he stayed out for 4 or 5 minutes, right? But you know, we're still early stages of the race. But this guy on the left-hand side, I think, used the illegal part of the track as you go in that way to get a huge launch. And actually, he got some real distance. Nobody really responds. This guy, he's on his own. He's not got any club kit on, which it might mean that he's amazing and he's just moonlighting as a non-club rider, but I don't know, no response from the peloton anyway, right? Although there's a little bit there, but nobody seems to be too worried. He's got a good gap though, I'll give him that. He's got a good gap, must have got a really good speed through the golden arches there at Kerbera, but we're gonna just leave him out for a moment. Maybe a bit of chasing, a bit of leaving him out. Let's see what happens, right? Nice shout out to this guy in front for number 10. I believe the club's called Ashby Ivanhoe, I think. But I really like their kit. They've got the same lids that I use for Ilkeston, which is also orange, and they've all got matching socks as well, which you know, full kudos. It's not white on white, which is my new favourite, but I like the orange. It looks really smart, and I think you're allowed orange socks if you matches the rest of your kit. So we've come back here to me into this corner, and I'm on the front again, and I'm actually having a little bit of a dig, which is always fun. Yeah, keeps me warm. I like it. Categorises me as a rider to have a little bit of a dig on the front. I know I've been called out by the boys over at House Race Team for me and Triathlon Dan having tendencies to both do the same thing here. But this is my big last attempt at trying to have a go, and Jack's helped me out. You probably saw him looking there. I'm shouting him, trying to encourage him here because he's done an absolute mega dig. I mean, I'm doing 350 watts in his wheel, right? So he is really digging in here for me. And the whole plan here, the whole idea here was that he leads me out into this corner. I come into this corner at 30 miles an hour. I have some really good speed here, a really tight bank there, and then I just go and I launch myself out of here. Now, I'm definitely feeling tired. My sprint there was a little bit low. I didn't want to commit fully to this because it's been so hard to break away. Keep pulling through here, and we're going to have a little bit of a look and see if I can actually manage to stay away here. I'm going to really push. I'm feeling good. I kept my heart rate down. Jack had led me out in an absolutely beautiful fashion, right? And full credit to this guy who has just come up from Cat 4. This is his first Cat 3 race, and he came up to me and he says, let's do this. This is my plan. So what I want to do, I want to get you in. Mint. You might hear some shouting in the background, right? I'd actually realised as I was coming down that hill that I'd got a wheel behind, and I thought, oh my god, fantastic, right? This is it. This is the winning move. So I've sat up a little bit, flicked him, he's not come round, sat up a little bit again, looked round, flicked him, he's still not coming. I looked, he just looked me dead in the face and went, Josh, I'm dead. I thought, oh no, right. Okay, I'm doing this on my own then, I suppose. So back at it again, attacked into the corner, because I want to get him off my wheel a little bit as well, right? I don't want to just give him a free ride and get him a second place if he is dying and he's not going to work. So full gas out of the bottom hairpin, full attack. I've got 4 laps to go, right? So in my head I'm like, right, if I can do 30 miles an hour down this back straight on my own, then I'm maybe looking at 4 minutes, 5 minutes above threshold of VO2, and hey, I can do that, right? Do intervals like that all the time, yeah? And I can do it. So off I go, trying to get a little bit of recovery where I can. I'm looking back every so often, but I'm listening for free wheels to try and see if the guys are sat up, and I'm hearing absolutely no free wheels whatsoever. But I'm going to just give it my absolute everything, give it full beans through here. You'll see I'm taking every part of the course that I can. and it's starting to rain now. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it on the GoPro. Yeah, it's just starting to spot and starting to rain now. So one, I was happy that I was away from the bunch at this point when it was raining, because we all know what can happen on a slippery circuit. But Kerber in particular, because they come up to the back hairpin in the cars, and they'll often skid around that back hairpin. There's a lot of rubber on there. So as soon as it starts to rain, that rubber will start to get really slippy before the water then soaks into the tarmac. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm in the right place. I've got a really, really good line out of here. And I've looked over as I come around that hairpin, and they're on me, right? I'm thinking, Jesus, I've done nearly 500 watts down that hill. People are dropping out, right? That's how hard it is that I've worked, but they're back on and they're on me. And you'll see here that I'm like, okay, let's just step the power down. What I want to happen now is I want to know how many laps are left, because I've forgotten, right? Because I'm totally full gas at 109 BPM, right? Okay, there's 3 laps to go. Big deep breath in. Let's just find a good wheel, put some watts in, and you join me about a lap later. So I think we're going to have 2 to go as we come back round. And I found myself a good wheel. So guy at the front from the VB called Matt. He been in 1 or 2 of the breakaways. Got a really big kick. Next guy, Hales Owen. Hales Owen is a cycling club race team. I believe they're an academy. I think they're a bit of a feeder team for some of the development level teams in the UK. But lots of really strong riders, lots of really strong track riders that I ride with. I didn't recognise this guy, but look at those thighs, right? If they're not sprinters' thighs, don't know what are. I didn't know if that Ashby guy was going to be the same guy that had blown for me in that little breakaway. So I thought, right, okay, I do not want to be anywhere near his wheel. I want to be third wheel in this line. Now this is going to be my undoing. If you don't want to see a tumble, switch off right now. I don't want to ruin it, but just turn it off, right? But I've got my wheel. I knew they were going to come out to the top of this apex, and I thought, okay, cool, fantastic. I've got my wheel at this corner, 2 to go. But here we go. Now you'll see I actually managed to right myself a little bit there. So the 2 guys in front of me managed to slide down. I actually managed to right myself, and if I'd have managed to just get a little bit more of a twist, I might have been able to stay up. But hey, that was what she wrote, and this is racing, right? This is closed circuit road racing. It's a bit of track racing as well. Got a couple of tumbles this year. Luckily, everybody was all right. There's some good scuffs, some really good scuffs. I haven't all scraped up on my back. The Hales Owen guy had an absolute gash out of his leg, right? A friend of mine made me absolutely chuckle when he went up to me. He goes, "Do you know your leg's bleeding?" This guy just looked at him and he went, "Yeah, mate, I've noticed." Right? Hilarious. The worst bit, and I have a pair of specs for my Hunt front wheel. Right. Very disappointing. Absolutely love it. Thank God for insurance, right? But actually, what's come out of it is this low watts high ambition project of mine now has a wheel sponsor, which is absolutely fantastic. And I'll be doing the Dudley GP on my brand new ESB wheels, which is going to be very exciting. And I'm looking forward to showing you these new wheels and letting you have a little bit of a look at them. And I'll share the website link for them if you do like the look of them and want to get yourself some. But I'll give you an honest review post Dudley. But for now, they feel light and they look fast. But I'm gonna go put some wheels on them. So drop me a subscribe if you want to see race reports like this. Check out my Instagram, Low Watts High Ambition, same handle as my YouTube, and on to the next one.